Leicester versus Waka on ABC 7. No need to say more.
Right now from ABC 7 Chicago. This is Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7.
It is a blistering hot night here in St. Louis, and we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7. It's the opener of a weekend series. The Cubs in second place, a game and a half off the pace. The Cardinals are in third, 4 behind Milwaukee. Great to have you with us tonight. Along with Jim Deshaies, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs have not scored in 2 straight games. The Cardinals struggling against last place teams, 4-5 over their last 9 games. Let's get right into our Goodwill pitching matchup. It is a dandy.
Yeah, it sure is. 2 guys, if they continue to pitch this way, will likely be in the All-Star game in about a month from now. Leicester 4th in the league in ERA. Waka is 7th in the league in ERA. They've both been red hot of late. Difference being, Leicester has been really good against the Cardinals throughout his career, and over his last 4 starts, he's 3-0 with a .178. Michael Waka has really struggled against the Cubs. Highest ERA he has against any club is that against the Cubs, and you see his last 4 starts, 0-3 with a 5.48.
It is brought to you by Goodwill. Amazing finds only at Goodwill, as we focus in on John Lester and our Leinenkugel perfect pitch.
Yeah, you know, I think when hitters game plan for John Lester, they talk a lot about the cutter, and rightly so. It's been his signature pitch for a long time. He has the ability to use it both sides of the plate. The fastball, sinker, 4-seamer up sometimes as well. That's been a big weapon for him this year. There's a backdoor cutter. So again, he goes east and west with that cut fastball. Real nice changeup. That's been a big improvement for him this year, and that's why he's been so good against right-handed hitters.
The perfect pitch is brought to you by Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Traditional German Weiss beer with natural lemonade flavor for a taste that's perfect lakeside, dockside, or just plain outside. Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Welcome to the Liney side. And now JD's Subaru Keys to the Game, presented by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Yeah, well, first, just hit the reset button after being shut out back-to-back days in Milwaukee. Off day yesterday, chance to regroup, and hopefully they can bounce back. We talked about the good numbers they have against Michael Waka, so we're going to throw a little whack-a-mole at you. And again, Lester, very good against the Cardinals in his career. So Johnny on the spot, team struggling to score runs. Maybe he can go out there and win this game all by himself.
The last time the Cubs were here, it was early May. The Cardinals swept that series, a couple of walk-off home runs, and it also featured a pretty gruesome injury to Yadier Molina. He missed a month with a pelvic injury.
Yeah, and you know, he's not the player he once was. Doesn't shut down the running game the way he used to. Still pretty good at it offensively. He's been so-so this year. Always been good against the Cubs, and he's really the heart and soul of this team. And the pitch calling and handling the pitching staff, the most important thing that they missed while Molina was out.
All right, let's dive into our business of baseball, brought to you by Comcast Business. Built for business, the 8-time All-Star and Gold Glover. You see there, he's nearing 200 starts at catcher against the Cubs. That's pretty rare for one guy versus one opponent. And 100 starts plus in 13 consecutive seasons, tied for the longest streak in Major League history. We are minutes away from the Cubs and the Cardinals coming up here from St. Louis. And when we come back, Joe Madden will pay tribute to the late Red Schoendienst, who recently passed away. A public funeral earlier this afternoon here in St. Louis. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By U.S. Waterproofing, a better basement starts with us. By the all-new Chicago Northside Toyota, you're going to like buying a car this way. And by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hall of Famer Red Schoendienst recently passed away. He was 95 years old and was the oldest living Hall of Famer. They had a public service for Red earlier today. 15 of his 19 years as a player here in St. Louis with the Cardinals. He managed their 1967 World Series championship club as well. He actually debuted as a player at Wrigley Field in 1945. And Joe Madden, who grew up a Cardinal fan, talked today about Red Schoendienst, number 2.
And by the way, Red Schoendienst, I wanted to go there today, was unable to attend. Listen, great guy. Met him several times, and he treated everybody equally wonderfully, and so our sympathies to his family. I was here when Jack Buck passed in 2002. We were here with the Angels at that time, so there was the big event was held on the field, and it was hot then too. Joe, I didn't go, but Joe Buck eulogized him, I'm pretty sure, his son, right? Didn't he eulogize him? And I talked to Joe about that afterwards. I heard it, and he was spectacular. And I've always been amazed when people are able to speak so eloquently at funerals. I get way too emotional, so I was really impressed with what Joe did that day. And I guess Mike spoke today a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure he did. So I've always been impressed with those people that can express themselves in those moments.
So we remember Red Schoendienst as we get you set for the Cubs and the Cardinals opening up a weekend series here in St. Louis. John Lester, Michael Wacha. Should be fun. Lineups and first pitch are next. Lincoln Motor Company. Buy Insure on the Spot. For quality insurance you can afford, head to insureonthespot.com. by Lakeside Bank. Personal customized banking. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And by Auto Barn Alfa Romeo in Evanston. For the largest selection on new Alfa Romeos, shop the Auto Barn Alfa Romeo in Evanston. Tonight's HD broadcast is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. And let's check out the NL Central standings. Brought to you by the all-new Chicago Northside Toyota. You're going to like buying a car this way. The Cubs losing 2 of 3 in Milwaukee, so they're a game and a half off the pace. The Brewers just getting started tonight at home against Philadelphia. Scoreless in the top of the first. Brent Suter pitching for the Brewers. That's a Jake Arrieta start for the Phillies. And the Pirates and the Reds are tied at 1. They're in the bottom of the third in Pittsburgh. Matt Harvey and Chad Kuhl, the matchup there. Here it is John Lester against Michael Wacha. Wacha lost his first start of the season and has not lost since. And let's check out the Southwest Airlines Cubs lineup he will face. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Almora in the leadoff spot. Jason Hayward getting the night off. Bryant, Rizzo, and Contreras 2, 3, 4. It's Kyle Schwarber batting 5th and left. Javier Baez at second base with his double play partner right behind him, Addison Russell. Ian Happ's first career home run was in his big league debut in this ballpark last May. And the pitcher John Lester bats ninth.
Cardinals defensively, it's a very talented group in the outfield. Ozuna can really get after it out there in left. Tommy Pham likewise in center. Dexter Fowler's losing playing time, and Harrison Bader is gaining it. He too is speedster. He'll play right field tonight. Carpenter, Jairo Munoz filling in for Paul DeYoung, who's on the disabled list. Jed Jerko, second base. Luke Voigt, who's up. Jose Martinez is on the paternity list. He's back in Venezuela. His wife or girlfriend is having a baby, so I don't think we'll see him this weekend. Certainly won't see him tonight. Yadier Molina is behind the plate, and Michael Wacha, as Len mentioned, he's on quite a roll here. 8-1 with a 247. He has a 1.72 ERA over his last 10 starts, and in those 10 ball games, he has not allowed more than 2 runs in any one of them. League bats .201 against him. He's allowed just 5 home runs. He's got a dandy of a changeup. He's a bit of a reverse split guy because of that. Really dominating left-handed hitters. They're hitting just 183 against him. He has not allowed a home run to a left-handed batter yet this year.
Paul Nauert is the crew chief, and he's behind the plate. Tom Woodring, Scott Barry, and Carlos Torres around the bases. So Almora will start it. Both teams were off yesterday. And this starts a stretch of 17 in a row before the next off day for the Cubs. Wacha's first pitch is swung on and bounced to Carpenter. Nice backhanded play. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, Albert's staying true to form. Very aggressive. Quite often attacks that first pitch.
And it brings up Chris Bryant. A career-long 0 for 16 coming in.
Hey, what's Mike Trout doing behind home plate?
And a chopper foul. Weather at first pitch is brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. For all the right reasons, call 866 Four Seasons. Yeah, it is a scorcher. It's going to be like that all weekend here in Missouri.
Yeah, up in Chicago too.
Cubs are just 1-4 against the Cardinals this season, including 0-3 here at Busch Stadium.
He got walked off a couple of times by the Cardinals last time they were here. Maybe he did. I guess he did. Paul Nauert thought he did. Since the only one that matters. Bryant has been good against Walker in his career. 9 out of 31. That's a .290 batting average. He's hit a couple of home runs against him.
This low and inside. 96 from Walker.
Yeah, he you know, he really mixes it up. He only uses his fastball 43% of the time. Changeup, cutter, and curveball all in the mix, and pretty much any pitch in any count. So he's not predictable.
Bounce that one up there. And it's full. He was born in the Midwest, Iowa City, Iowa. He went to high school in Texarkana, Texas. Three-two, got him on a cutter. For his first strikeout. Brings up Anthony Rizzo, has those gaudy numbers against Waka. No Cub hitter has had a better batting average than Rizzo against a Cardinal over the last 40 years with at least 30 trips to the plate. He's 18 for 40 with 3 home runs and swings and misses. 1 for 11 in the series in Milwaukee. The one hit was a game-winning home run in extras. And he bounces it foul into the Cardinal dugout.
That's the only home run the Cubs have hit in the last week. Slugging numbers way down, as you might expect when you look at the scores.
Yeah, the Cubs, believe it or not, haven't scored a lot of runs on home runs. In terms of their total runs scored, only about a third have come from home runs. Andy Haynes chatting with Javier Baez. First inning, just getting started. And that one's slashed fair. It'll kick off the diagonal sidewall. Ozuna will barehand, and that'll keep Rizzo to a single.
Well, he continues to wear out Michael Wacha. Chokes up on the bat and just punches it the other way. Got a little slice spin, carries it into that wall, and no chance to get 2 bases.
So 2 outs, a runner on, and it's Wilson Contreras, the catcher, digging in. He's batting in the cleanup spot. Right now, Joe Maddon is about giving his everyday players as much rest as he can find. That's why Bryant was out on Wednesday. Got 2 full days off with the off day yesterday. Jason Hayward, Ben Zobrist out of the lineup tonight. You hear about the dog days of August, but there are dog days in late June leading toward the All-Star break in mid-July. And these guys have been basically going at it as Rizzo takes off, throw to first.
Oh my, keep going.
Wow. And Rizzo will end up at least at third. Bader has to retrieve the ball in foul territory. So Wacha kind of panicked. He had Rizzo. If he had stepped off, he would have easily thrown him out at second, but instead he fired widely to first.
Yeah, this was fun to watch. Anthony's just trying to time him up. He's trying to anticipate first move, and he's got him hung out to dry if he just steps and looks, but he didn't. He stepped off and just threw, and maybe at the last moment realized he was thrown to the wrong base and kind of spiked the throw. Boyd couldn't make the play, and Rizzo gets all the way to third base.
So Anthony will get a stolen base, his third, and an error charged to Wacha. That is the Cardinals' first error in their last 7 games. And the pitch fouled back. Yeah, you know, they've been going at it now since mid-February, and you do have the All-Star break coming up, but you have a couple of lulls in the season in terms of fatigue, and I think this is kind of the start of that period for guys who've, you know, started 55 to 60 games.
Especially as the weather starts to heat up.
Yep. 0-2 misses outside.
And especially if you're a Chicago Cub and you play as many day games as they do, so you've got that kind of wonky schedule.
Expect sellout crowds all weekend, as is always the case when the Cubs come here. There's a blooper that'll drop foul. That would have given the Cubs the lead.
And that would have got Walker thinking, I just can't beat this club. Bad things happen when I face the Cubs. 4-7 with a 6-12 lifetime in the regular season. It's 4-8 and a little higher when you consider the postseason. He's made 15 starts against the Cubs. Good one earlier this year. No decision. Cardinals won 4-2. That was a rematch. That was Walker-Lester back on May 6th.
Bunch of rain fell that night. A couple of early delays. 2-2.
I think to a certain extent that the right-handed batters take the changeup away from Walker. He'll use it on occasion to right-handed hitters, but the slot for him is down and away to the lefties. He gets a lot of swings and misses and weak contact on his changeup. So the secondary pitches against the right-handed batters, cutter and curve, they're just not as effective as his changeup is.
No swing. And it's full. Kyle Schwarber's on deck.
He shook Molina off a couple of times, and I think he wanted to go to the cutter. That's what he struck KB out with. Molina wants to talk about it. Walker, 26 years of age, 6'6", 215, long and lean. Went to Texas A&M. He was a first-round pick, number 19 overall in 2012. 5th year in the big leagues.
He'll try it again. He's been often compared to his teammate Adam Wainwright. Similar build. Wainwright back on the DL. The Cardinals have used the disabled list 20 times already. The bullpen in particular has been hit hard. Pitch number 8 to Contreras, hit on the ground right to Carpenter. And Waka strands Rizzo at third. John Lester has always dealt here in St. Louis. He'll try to do it again tonight when we come back. the nearest location. Fix Auto, the first words that should come to mind after an accident. They went walkless in their series against the Padres, something that hasn't happened in a while. Carpenter, Bader, Pham at the top. Ozuna, Molina, and Jerko in the middle. Voit, Munoz, and Waka at the bottom.
Cubs defensively, Schwarber, Almora, Happ left, center, right. Bryant, Russell, Baez, Rizzo third to first. Wilson, Contreras behind the plate, and on the mound, John Lester, 34 years of age, three-time All-Star. Just pitching lights out, 7-2 with a 2.22 ERA. League batting just .206 against Big John.
You don't want to cheat him of an All-Star appearance. 4.
4.
3. I think
Correct.
He's going to be a 5.
10, 11, 14, 16. It's going to come fastball, cutter, curve, and change.
Carpenter, a one-hopper to Baez. And he's out. He continues to struggle against John Lester. Carpenter 5 for 38 lifetime against John. Now Harrison Bader making his 4th start in their last 5 games for Dexter Fowler in right. Fowler and Colton Wong really struggling. Both guys are under 200. And we sit here on June 15th.
Well, if the Cardinals muster 3 hits off John tonight here, they will have exceeded expectations based on his recent work. Last time out, 7 innings, 1 hit, shutout against the Pirates. Time before that, 7 innings, 2 hits, shutout against the Mets.
In there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bader. Last start here, that game against Waka, John had to battle through 2 early rain delays and a no decision.
Well, rain won't be a factor tonight, but heat will. Very warm. Will take its toll. You'd love to be efficient in the early innings, save some bullets.
Including the postseason, Lester has pitched in this ballpark 9 times as a starter, and his career ERA is 1.98. A little low. 2-2.
Bigger body of work, but similar to the dominance that Quintana has shown over the Brewers.
Thump to center, but he hit it right at Almora. So they've hit the ball hard a couple of times, but for outs. And it'll bring up Tommy Pham.
Yeah, I like Bader. He's got some tools.
On May 4th, Pham's early 3-run homer off Jose Quintana provided the Cardinals with a winning margin. And he's now hit in his last 8 straight. Bottom of the zone strike. Mention the fact that the Cardinals didn't walk in the 3 games against San Diego. Their first 3-game series without a walk since 1978. That was 40 years ago. It was a series against the Cubs. Two on Pham.
Cardinals a little below league average in terms of runs scored. They hit a lot of home runs, 81, 3rd most in the NL.
Yeah, their offense has been middling. Their bullpen has struggled. Their starting pitching has been really good.
Yeah, and that's having lost Martinez for a time to the disabled list. Wainwright has only made 4 starts. They were very excited to get Alex Reyes, their young phenom, back. He'd been out for a long time at post-surgery. He made 1 start, went immediately back on the DL. He's done for the year.
Called strike 3. Nice work by Lester as they go in order. Scoreless after 1. Brought to you by Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2. The wait is finally over. Everyone's favorite family is back in action. See Incredibles 2 in theaters everywhere now. Back here in St. Louis, inning number 2. Kyle Schwarber takes a curveball high. Just 1 for 19 over his last 7 games. He's batting 5th tonight. 1-1 the count. That will get out of play. Going into tonight, Wacha had allowed 7 hits total over his previous 3 starts, covering over 20 innings.
Yeah, I don't pay much attention to gambling lines for baseball games, but I would imagine the over/under is pretty low with this pitching matchup here. The way these guys have been dealing.
He struck him out looking. So 10 consecutive starts, allowing 2 or fewer. That would be the live ball era since 1920.
You see, and this is the lineage, the legacy of the Cardinals is tall right-handed pitchers. Every guy on that list. Think back to Chris Carpenter, and Darryl Kyle, Bob Force going way back.
Javier Baez takes a pitch off the inside. Had a good series in Milwaukee, 4 for 11. Doubled, walked, stole 3 bases, scored twice. Overall, a slow start to June. And in a favorable count here, 2-0.
Cubs over their last 6 games hitting a .194 and just 1 home run. The Rizzo go-ahead home run in extras the other day in Milwaukee. They've scored 13 runs total in those 6 ball games. Such is baseball.
Baez walks unintentionally for the 2nd time on the trip.
Boy, if that's not a pink elephant.
Addison Russell hitting .311 since April 26th, average at .272 on the year.
See Addie taking a long look down at Brian Butterfield. We noticed in Milwaukee, Joe starting to be a little more aggressive with his club struggling. Starting some base runners, trying to create some action. Walker's really hard to run on. He gets rid of it in a hurry. Normally you think tall right-hander, take him a while to unload and be a good guy to run against, but there's not much going on with the leg kick at all. And Molina, even though he's not what he used to be, you give him a chance, he's going to throw you out.
Baez has 12 steals on the year, already tying his career high. And most importantly, he has a high success rate. There he goes. Line to right, and that'll end the inning. Baez already around second base. That'll go 9-3. Nothing he did wrong. It was a hit and run. And the Cubs finished in the second. Further, John Lester's dominance against the St. Louis Cardinals matching up pretty well. They went in order in the first. Bad luck for Russell and Baez. Addison hit one right on the button for an L9-3 double play. Ozuna leading the majors at .414 since May 21st.
And slugging .671 over that stretch. 5 home runs, a double, a triple, and 70 at bats.
Popped up on the infield, and Rizzo will take it.
Cub fans, celebrate your 4th of July with America's pastime at baseball's most majestic ballpark. The Cubs take on the Detroit Tigers. Interleague matchups July 3rd and 4th. Good seats still available. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com.
So we had the note prior to first pitch. Molina making his 188th career start against the Cubs. That is the 5th most among all catchers since 1920. And he pops one down the left field line, but it'll go foul. In the division era since 1969, Gary Carter is the only other catcher, or the only catcher that currently to start 200 games against anybody. He did it against 4 different teams. So Molina will get to 200 either later this year or early next year against the Cubs.
If he doesn't get broken again. This is year 1 of a 3-year contract he signed towards the end of spring training. When you used to think Molina, and I think he still does it in RBI situations, right center, but now he's become much more inclined to try to pull the ball, cheats on fastballs, tries to hook the ball. A little taller in the box. He's trying to generate a little more power.
Pretty interesting. John Lester and Jim Hickey talking about when John's at his best. It's not about velocity. They talk about angles. John said, when my angle is right, that means everything. So what does he mean when he says that?
No idea.
Is that the cutter in on righties?
Yeah, I think he's talking about his arm slot, his delivery, and that's when you talk about John, a lot of the advanced analytics, they get into tunneling. So the ball comes out of his hand. Hitter has a real hard time recognizing sinker, changeup versus cutter away. That's what makes him so effective. It kind of comes from the same release point. So I'm guessing he's talking arm angle. High 3/4 delivery. Ball's either going to run down and away or cut down and in. He's always been, for me, a guy who works down and goes east and west. We've talked a lot about him this year, elevating more, and that's his ground ball rate is down, fly ball rate is up, and I think that's part and parcel with this launch angle revolution. I think we're seeing a lot of pitchers do that, going upstairs with 4-seam fastballs to try to prevent those guys who are trying to lift the low ball.
So that Molina walk, the first one the Cardinals have taken this week. Jerko took Lester deep here on May 6th, and he's 6 out of 12 plus 3 walks against Cubs pitching this season. He's playing second base tonight. Carpenter over at third.
And he's been particularly good against John in his career. 9 out of 22 with 3 home runs.
He bounces foul.
So slugging average is in the 800s against John. It's the highest of any hitter who's faced John at least 25 times.
You know, Matt Carpenter has played more third than he has on the other side of the infield. Tonight, Carpenter's making his team high 41st start at third base, and he's got a bad right shoulder, and we could really see that on the mechanics on his throws to first. But it's Jerko at second base, Carpenter at third tonight. No Colton Wong, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, they obviously want Jerko's bat in there against John, and if they were to have a lead late, you'd see probably Carpenter either come out of the game or move to the other side of the diamond defensively. His arm just, it's high risk with his arm at third base, and that's why a lot of people out there in the rumor mill keep talking about Manny Machado coming to the Cardinals. Almost as much as they were talking about him coming to the Cubs.
2 balls, 2 strikes. If you like defensive shifting, these two teams do it fewer than any in baseball, and those numbers for 2 guys who would like to play every day, Wong and the former Cub Fowler. And those are the 2 guys who hit the game-ending homers against the Cubs in that series in May. Every team in baseball, except for the Cubs and Cardinals, have shifted over 330 times this year. The Cubs and Cardinals have employed fewer than 200 defensive shifts. The Astros, almost 2,100.
Yeah, they do
already.
a lot of funky things.
Fouled away.
So, some of that may be just the way you match up against other clubs, your pitchers, what have you. But clearly it's a complete buy-in on the part of the Astros, and that's where the Cubs were a couple of years back. I mean, they were among the league leaders in that department, but the more they've considered the analytics, maybe also just out of deference to the pitchers. Sometimes pitchers don't like it.
Jerko giving Lester a battle here.
That story you were telling the other day, Joe was saying that they give their pitchers the opportunity to first guess,
right,
but not to second guess. So here's how we want to deploy our infield while you're out there against this guy. You good with that? And if the pitcher were to say, "Nah, I'd rather just play him straight up," then they probably will. But if the pitcher says, "Yeah, go ahead and shift," and then the guy gets base hit through a vacant hole, you can't come in and complain.
Swing and a miss. Got him on a curve. Finally. Cubs fans wake up with the ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Terrell Brown, Tanya Babich, Roz Barron, and meteorologist Tracy Butler will get you ready to start your day with the latest news, weather, and traffic. Cardinals' best hitter is Jose Martinez. His OPS is over 900, but he might not be here all weekend. He's on the paternity list. And so Luke Voigt is back here from the minor leagues. And playing first base tonight, takes a strike.
So he had a handful of at-bats, but he has gone deep already.
This is his first start this season. And 6th big league game here in 2018.
As you can see, a big strong kid. He was not hitting for power down at the minor leagues yet.
In the dirt, Lester wants a check at first. And he did not swing, says Tom Woodring. Slightly open stance. And Voigt fouls away.
Kind of a different move with his front leg, kind of a stiff front leg. Extends it out towards the pitcher. Had 114 at-bats with the Cardinals last year. It's his first taste of the big leagues. Hit 246, hit 4 home runs. Minor leagues this year, 242 batter with 2 home runs, 124 at bats.
Molina the runner at first. And he'll take off with 2 outs. And a 2 bouncer gets away from Bryant. That in between hop ate him up. And the inning continues. There'll be an error on Chris.
He's a little undecided as to whether to pursue that one, back up and try to find a friendly hop, and he got caught in between. The old rule is you see that ball hit the dirt in front of home plate, charge. It's likely going to have at least one big bounce in it.
So rookie Jairo Munoz, who came over from Oakland in the offseason in the Stephen Piscotty deal. He's here because Paul DeYoung has a broken hand. And he'll bat with 2 on and 2 out. No hits, but a walk and an error. And off the inside for ball 1.
Which, if nothing else, means more pitches, and that's important on a hot night like tonight.
The highest ERA among the probable starters in this series is 4.09. That's Jose Quintana Sunday night. The 3 Cardinals starters all have sub-3s. Waka tonight, Martinez tomorrow, and Jack Flaherty Sunday night. Kyle Hendricks will go for the Cubs on Saturday. So it could be a low-scoring series, and it might not be.
Yeah, well,
but on paper, it looks to be pretty tough on the hitters.
And what it will likely be, given recent history, is very competitive and close, whether it's low scoring or high scoring. These teams have played a lot of tight games. And does he work off the plate, or does their book say just pound this kid in?
John's 1-1, hit back toward the middle. Baez throws in time. So Lester works around the walk and the error, and we're 0-0 after 2.
The Dodgers are in town. First pitch is at 7:05, and up to the first early arriving 10,000 fans receive a Jason Hayward bobblehead presented by Pepsi. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
We want to congratulate Iowa Cubs manager Marty Peavy. He will be the skipper of the Pacific Coast League All-Stars in the AAA Midsummer Classic on July 11th. And 3 Myrtle Beach Pelicans will play in the Carolina League All-Star game this coming Tuesday. As Ian Happ swings and misses, catcher Johnny Beretta, pitcher Tyler Payton, and infielder Aramis Adaman. High towering blast to right, and it's gonna go. Ian Happ with a home run, 1-0.
That is the first home run Michael Wacha has allowed to a left-handed batter this year. It came on an 85-mile-per-hour hanging changeup, a pitch that has been problematic for Ian, but not this time. We have liftoff.
A Toyota home run replay. This is where he made his big league debut in May of 2017. And starting for Jason Hayward tonight, he gives the Cubs the early advantage. 1-0 on John Lester.
A little ambush from the 8-hole in the batting order.
That is on the outside edge. 1-1. Well, that had a great sound off the bat.
Just the 6th home run all year that Walker has allowed.
Three and one. 418 feet for Ian Happ. On the ground to the second baseman. And Jerko gets Lester. Happy 8-0. Billy Williams, a Hall of Famer, turning 80 years old today. Over 2,500 career hits as a Cub. 392 home runs. And in the top 5 in all those categories in Chicago Cubs history. And I think it's appropriate we wish Billy a happy birthday. A few pitches after Ian Happ just hit a home run to right.
Absolutely. He did it for Billy. Whether he did or not, we're going to claim it. Dusty Baker celebrating a birthday today as well.
Lance Parrish, Wade Boggs, Andy Pettit, all born on this date. Champ Summers, born on June 15th. Tap foul by Almora.
And I don't know if I'd stick with that beard through the hot summers of St. Louis if I were a Walker. Of course, the way he's been pitching, he's not going to change it up.
Lined into right. Almora's got a 1-out hit.
Well, we saw Russell hit the ball hard the other way on a hit and run play. We've seen Almora do that a fair bit lately. Shoot the ball the other way.
One other June 15th birthday. Pid Purdy, an outfielder for the White Sox and the Reds in the late 1920s. He was born on this date, 1904. He passed away in 1951. Everett Virgil Pid Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y.
Pid, no relation to Pud Galvin. How about Peekaboo Veach? Born on this date in 1862.
Yeah.
He played in the 1800s.
A Wayback Machine.
Peekaboo Veach. William Walter was the real name.
A throw over. Almora back in plenty of time.
Yeah. Now, normally you wouldn't think hit and run with Chris Bryant because you don't want him to, be forced to swing the bat at a pitch possibly out of the zone. But the fact that he's been struggling, sometimes that's what a manager will do. The guy's caught in between, so we just take it out of his hands. We're going to start the runner. You're going to swing. Maybe something good will happen, and that'll get you going a little bit.
High drive out into left center. Gone. Chris Bryant, his first home run in over a month.
Or we could just let you swing the bat.
Snaps in 0 for 17, and it's 3-0.
Well, I believe we saw his dad down there on the field before the ball game, so maybe Mike brought a little good karma KB's way. Oh man, sweet swing. I've got the changeup. Chris got the fastball. Another happy birthday present for Billy Williams.
Yeah. 2 loud home runs. His first homer since May 14th. That's his longest homerless drought. The longest hitless streak as well. One and one on Rizzo. 3-0 here in the third. That one hit hard but foul.
There were two competing narratives here with Walker. How good he has been all year, and especially over these last 10 starts, and how the Cubs have owned him throughout his career. And right now, the latter is proving to be the case. This is the first time in 11 starts that he's allowed more than 2 runs in a ball game.
First homer in 119 plate appearances for Bryant. And that had to feel great. Rizzo just got hit. A cutter from Waka. Yeah, so his streak ending. 10 consecutive starts allowing no more than 2 runs. And coming against his nemesis, as you say. Ooh, that was close.
Yeah,
it was a bounce throw,
yeah.
But a good play by Voit.
And Anthony, who stole second base with that bit of daring last time, looked like he was thinking about it again. That's a slick move there by Voit to pick that and apply the tag. Boom, boom, just like that. Matheny's still waiting to get the thumbs up or down from his video guys whether to challenge this play or not. Seems to me like a point where a decision should have been made by now. Shaking that magic 8 ball down there.
So the Cubs here in the third inning scoring for the first time since the 5-run 11th on Monday night. There goes Rizzo, and a bouncer to Carpenter. And he'll lob it over for the out. Runner at second base, 2 gone. And it's Kyle Schwarber. Bryant's homer 448 feet.
Yeah, and imagine at some point he's going to go, okay, people stop talking about how long it's been since I hit a home run.
Way up in the air and back out of play. One strike on Schwarber. The kick and the pitch. Make it 0-2 on them. Happ and Bryant have gone deep, each with number 9 on the year. Milwaukee jumping on Jake Arrieta tonight. Brewers lead 5-0 in the bottom of the third. Three of the 5 runs unearned. 2 Scott Kingery errors in that one.
Well, that's interesting. Kingery's the kid that Jake called out after his start against the Giants.
Right.
Kingery's probably scared to play behind him now.
So ending some offers. Right, with that 2-run shot. Hard hit ground ball to Durko. And the Cubs with a productive 3rd inning, using the home run ball. First it was Ian Happ to lead it off. A few batters later, Chris Bryant is first in a month. Cubs lead 3-0 in St. Louis. Runs on Duncan. Always fun when you hit a home run. And the Cubs lead this game 3-0. Lester to Waka. And a first pitch strike. 1 for 23 on the year for Waka. You mentioned Alex Reyes, done for the year due to lat surgery, and he recently divulged that his young daughter was battling cancer as well. Very sad story. Greg Holland struggled before he went to the DL. Luke Gregerson, shoulder and knee surgery. Surgery on the knee, not the shoulder. The shoulder was why he went to the DL. Tyler Lyons is out, so is Dominic Leone. Backhanded play, Russell. He's got some time, but Ooh, that was close.
Yeah.
Not as much as he thought, as Walker really busted it down the line.
So assumed with the pitcher going down the line, he didn't have to have any sense of urgency there. And the Cardinals are going to challenge this one.
Well, Walker thinks he's safe. And Addison not happy with himself. This manager's challenge is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And our first look at the replay, it certainly looks like he beat it.
A little extra time to set his feet, a little tap and throw, and it's a strong throw, but need to be a little bit more aggressive pursuing that ball, and this is going to be overturned.
So an infield hit for Waka. Mike Matheny retains his challenge, and the batter will be Matt Carpenter. That's their first hit.
And it's their third reach. A walk, a physical error on KB, and then kind of a mental error here on Addy.
Carpenter was hitting 140 on May 15th. He's batting .330 since. So he and Ozuna have really gotten it going. 2012 to 2016. His batting average was .285, but since the start of last year, it's .238. He's still walking a ton, but the average has been way down. Yeah. He has always struggled against Cubs pitching.
I think he made a conscious decision to sacrifice average for power. He pulls the ball a lot more now, hits it in the air more frequently.
Since Joe Madden took over the Cubs, including the postseason, Carpenter has hit .155 against Cubs pitching. Two and one.
Just .241 average last year, but a .384 on base percentage. He walked 109 times. Hit 23 home runs, 31 doubles.
Swing and a miss. Now you can tell by that swing he's not trying to hit a little dribbler up the middle. He's trying to park it in the bullpen and right. Swing and a miss. Good comeback by John.
This Wednesday, that would be the 20th of June, Cubs match up against the Dodgers. A matinee, 1:21 pitch. And up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a Cubs cap presented by Wendella. For details, visit Cubs.com.
Cubs have been the best defensive team in baseball, but a couple of misplays on the left side of the infield tonight, making John Lester's job a little harder. Bader lined to center his first time up, and he takes apparently low.
Ooh, good pitch. First pitch changeup on the plate at the knees. Didn't get the call. Probably should have.
Bader recently turned 24. That's a strike on a curve.
Bader, one of the fastest guys in the league.
They'll get one, and that's it. Tommy Pham struck out looking in the first inning.
If Bader tries to steal a bag here.
And he slipped, and he's going to be out. Bader slipped. Contreras nailed him at first. That's it for the Cardinals. Mike Matheny wants to have another look with a video room. That slip right there, and he was way offshore. Well, they're going to challenge this. Yeah, he got in.
The tag, the initial tag missed. I think it ultimately maybe got him up on the helmet.
This manager's challenge is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Bader out doing some landscaping right now. They're kicking some dirt around out there just off of first base. Here's another look at it. Sweep tag from Anthony.
Yeah,
doesn't get him until he maybe brushes the helmet, but by that point Bader's got that right hand on the bag.
It's a great slide to go way to the outfield side and sneak the hand in.
Maybe he never did get him, period.
And remember, the laces do not count in terms of tags. It has to be the main part of the glove to get them.
So difficult to tell. There's a chance that Anthony brushed that shoulder on the way by. And remember, the call on the field was out. The question is, will they see daylight in New York? Yeah.
Ooh. Well, that's a break for the Cubs. I think it's probably inconclusive, and that's why it's going to benefit the Cubs, and the Cardinals will lose a challenge early. 3-0. Wins Casinos, your entertainment escape. Cubs with a little bit of a break via replay. Didn't really see a tag by Rizzo, but I think in New York they couldn't definitively determine he didn't get Harrison Bader. So the Cardinals lose their challenge. Baez grounds toward the hole, and he is safe at first. Infield hit. Good effort by Munoz, but he just couldn't get enough on the throw.
And Javi got a real nice break out of the box. The ball stayed down. Munoz, nice play. What a knock.
Russell lined into a double play from right field on a hit and run in the second.
We've got Jerko, the second baseman, way over toward the bag, and with Voit holding Baez on. There's a lot of room on the right side of the infield. Now Addy rarely hits the ball on the ground to the right side. If he were an adept bunter, the push bunt would be a heck of a play here, but that's not part of his repertoire.
Russell shows bunt, takes the pitch outside. I stand corrected. The call was confirmed, so they determined definitively that
they saw a tag.
Same result, just a little more detail. But the big part of that is if Baez were out on that play right there, Mike Matheny can't challenge it. He's pretty much stuck now until the last couple of innings, except for some specific crew chief challenges that are allowed, like boundary calls. Now that would be next level stuff. If you started teaching guys how to play in replay free zones in the game. I'll tell you what I mean.
Please.
1-1 is low for a tag play at second base. Now they tell you to hold the tag, right, for replay purposes. Well, Cubs don't really have to do
now
that.
They can do
just
the
have to get an out call.
Yeah, in and out, like the old check mark technique.
Baez runs. And Russell fouls.
And the other part of that too, so even if the Cardinals win that challenge, 2 outs, man on first. You know, think about the run expectancy. Even though they did have Pham up there in the middle of their order, but 2 outs, man on first. Run expectancy still in that situation is still very low. So I would want to have from my video guys almost say
100%.
Yeah, absolutely challenge it versus you know. And I imagine what they said was, well, I think he might be safe. If you want to challenge, go ahead, but given you know the base out situation, probably better off not challenging.
I think Baez will be running here. He was moving earlier in the count. There he goes. 3-2 is chopped foul.
Challenge for the base there for the hitter here in this situation, of course, is be willing to take a pitch out of the zone, go ahead and take the walk. There's a lot of anxiety for some guys with that base runner on the move. This isn't a hit and run play. He's running on 3 and 2. It's the manager's looking for ball 4 or contact. Like that.
And ball 4. Meanwhile, the Phillies are playing an awful game tonight. in Milwaukee. It's 8-0 Brewers. Jake Arrieta's out of the game. They committed 3 errors.
Body's moving around the Cardinal bullpen right now, guys, stretching and jogging to get loose. Nobody throwing.
Happ with a grounder to first. 1, and that's all. The fielder's choice for Ian Happ. Russell retired at second. And it'll bring up John Lester. A possible safety squeeze spot.
Yeah, almost a default safety squeeze here with Lester up there. And Baez, the base runner, at third. Got speed at first and Happ as well. See how aggressively the Cardinals defended here.
Well, life is always fun when Javier Baez is at third base, especially in a bunting situation. You always feel like something interesting is going to happen, and they're going to throw over.
Yeah, the fact that Carpenter wasn't really creeping in for a potential bunt kind of had that pickoff at third in play. Ooh, good swing.
Bunt. I guess the arc of a pitcher's career like John in terms of his batting, longtime member of an American League staff. Don't get embarrassed. Don't get hurt. Here's the bunt. It is fair, and Molina will have to throw to first. Gets away. Lester on his way to second. It's 4-0. Because Molina had to field the ball, he could not get back to tag Baez, and then he threw it away. They give him an RBI out of it. And Baez walking cautiously back to the dugout.
Yeah, you see Javi actually slam on the brakes a little bit and then goes as the ball gets down. Sacrifice RBI, error on Molina. Baez coming down the line initially like it was a straight suicide squeeze. Then he stopped. Made sure Lester got the bunt down. He was running a little hitch and go.
Infield in.
And you know, I thought initially that Molina still had a shot at Javi, you know, a dive back towards home plate. But, maybe not.
You can really open it up here. And it looks like they might. Ozuna makes a running catch. Happ will tag. Thought that ball might get down. It's a sac fly, and it's 5-0.
Sac bunt followed by a sac fly, gets 2 home.
Our home run cam is brought to you by Toyota. Tested, trusted Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Cubs playing the big game and the small game here tonight. Happ and Bryant going deep in the 3rd inning. Just to finish the point about John Lester, you know, as an American League guy who didn't bat a lot, you don't get hurt, don't get embarrassed, become a National League player, break the offer, which he eventually did. It got to 66 at bats before he picked up his first big league hit. Then get your bunts down and then start hitting, and he hit a home run last year for the first time. Close at first. Bryant is out. Cubs add 2 to their lead, and we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 5-0 in the series opener.
At Wrigley Field, plan now and get tickets to weekend matches against the Reds, Cardinals, and Padres, and support your Cubs to another division title. Visit Cubs.com. Place your orders today.
And tonight's hot and cold players are brought to you by Plumbers 911. Call day or night at 1-833-PLUM-911. Plumbers 911. Your plumbing connection. Tale of 2 Davises as Tommy Pham takes a little bit inside.
It was the best of Davis. It was the worst of Davis.
Lester with a 5-0 cushion here in the 4th inning. Curveball tapped foul.
Yeah, he's in the sweet spot right now. Comfortable lead. He's been on a roll. Facing the club he has dominated.
Russell ranges to his glove side.
No wasting any time that time.
Yep, hit to Rizzo quickly. 1 away.
He's a quick study, that guy.
Yu Darvish through another bullpen session today. Carl Edwards was able to throw as well. More on that later. Adbert Alzolay, the Cubs' top prospect, done for the year. He's got a lat injury. That ball is going to leave the yard in a big-time hurry. Marcelo Zuna gets the Cardinals on the board with his 9th of the year.
After a sluggish start, he's been really swinging it well here for an extended period of time now. 8-game hitting streak, home runs in 4 of his last 6 ball games. Opens up that front side and delivers a mighty blow.
A 5-1 ball game. Molina walked in the second inning. Curve on the outside edge.
First run John's given up in a while.
Yeah, he came in with a 15-inning scoreless streak, so he got it up to 18 innings before that home run.
If Martinez not here, Ozuna clearly the most dangerous guy in their lineup these days.
Base hit to left. So that is their third hit.
And here comes the guy who's maybe the most dangerous for John Lester in this lineup. We talked about that last time Jerko was up there. Outstanding numbers in his career against John. John got him last time, struck him out swinging.
Curve right in the middle of the zone. Since Jerko became a Cardinal 2016, his 55 home runs, #1 on the team.
And the power potential has always been there for Jerko. His rookie year with the Padres in 2013, he had 23 home runs, slugged .444, and kind of went backwards for a couple of years. Just .210 in 2014. Our numbers were off. Started to lose playing time a little bit.
Schwarber. I got my shoes tied. He had that blowout here in May. And a stumble and catch when his shoe fell apart.
Molina bouncing around out there off first base. He's trying to be a distraction for Lester. He's not likely to run.
Contreras did not hang on.
Relative to other Molinas, Yachty probably the fastest. Maybe not after this most recent injury. And there was a time when he used to kind of sneak attack you and steal a base. And there you see the numbers career-wise.
Lester started the night with the 4th best ERA in the NL. Walker was #7. 2-2.
No flinch at all there from Jerko on the changeup. Saw that very well. You know, we give you these hitter-pitcher matchup numbers from time to time, and it's always difficult to know, you know, how much stock to put in it because of small samples. What's the magic number? How many plate appearances against a given pitcher before you buy into what the guy has done? For me, you got to believe in Jerko a little bit here with the 9 out of 22 with 3 home runs. It doesn't seem fluky.
He's had 2 long at bats here against Lester. Full count.
I guess now they would have the ability to go back and see video of every at-bat Jerko's ever had against John and see how much real hard contact he's made against him.
This will be a 10-pitch sequence at the very least. Nineteen pitches seen by Jerko already in this game. Double play ball. And that'll do it. Took him a while, but it worked out. 6-4-3. Ozuna with the one-out homer puts the Cardinals on the board. It's 5-1 Cubs at the end of 4. Sport Clips haircuts. Check in online at sportclips.com/check-in and claim your spot today at any of the over 90 Chicagoland locations. Michael Wacha having a terrific season, but struggling once again against the Cubs. He came in with a 6.12 career ERA. Pitched well against them his first time around this season. Trailing 5-1 tonight, and a first pitch strike to Anthony Rizzo.
Single down the third base line first time, hit by a cutter on the arm last time. Wacha likes that get over curveball 0-0 against left-handed batters, and he'll go to work from there.
Hammered into the right field corner. Fair ball. Bounces out of play. That'll be a double. So Rizzo leadoff two-base hit. Good throw by Bader, but it doesn't matter. Anthony wasn't sure either. He kept running.
Well, just a rocket. He turned on that hanging changeup, and the changeup has not been very effective for Walker here tonight. The home run came out of changeup. Doesn't have good fade. It's been up in the zone. That one's way up there. Just jumped all over it, and there's a little excitement at second base for Knott as the ball had bounced out of play.
It's almost hitting 500 against Walker now. Swatted foul by Contreras.
A couple rollover ground balls to third base for Wilson. Really needs to emphasize trying to stay inside the ball, use a big part of the yard here to try to drive this run in, and if not, at least advance him. You know, the last thing you want here is a ground ball to third or short. I don't know if it's the last thing you want, but it's among the least favorable outcomes. Probably wouldn't be thrilled with a pop-up to catcher either.
No. Glance at Rizzo, the pitch. No swing.
Check. And Paul Nauert responded to Wilson's check.
The Cardinals with a missed opportunity. Their last 9 games were against the 3 last place teams in the National League. They went just 4-5. Their next 19 games against 6 opponents, combining to go 53 games over 500. So they're 6 games over 500, 4 games back. They've done a lot of damage against the Central. I mentioned 4-1 against the Cubs. They've beaten up on the Reds in particular as well. I'm not quite sure if anyone's figured out the Cardinals yet. I'm not sure they know.
No, because they've had so many injuries. I think they got to feel pretty good about where they are with all the injuries they've had. I know they were enthusiastic about Miles Michaelis, but I don't think they expected to get what they're getting out of him. Flaherty's been really good. They plugged him into the rotation.
Contreras walks. Yeah, anytime you're getting the starting pitching they've gotten, that's always a pretty good silver lining. Cubs will not face Michaelis this weekend. There's Mike Maddox. First year as a Cardinal pitching coach.
Still nothing doing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Schwarber, a high drive to center. Way back goes Pham. Gone.
Oh,
that is one of the highest, most majestic home runs we've seen this year. A 3-run blast.
Strong like bull. My word. That trajectory to that part of the ballpark to go that far. That is most impressive.
Kyle Schwarber with number 12 on the year. It's 8-1.
But you see this ball leave his bat with this trajectory, you're thinking, well, he hit it pretty good. But look how good he hit it. Way up on top of that berm out there.
Toyota home run replay. The Cubs have connected 3 times tonight. Fastball strike to Baez. Still nobody out.
And finally somebody starting to throw in the Cardinal pen. So he had allowed just 5 home runs all year coming into this one. He's given up 3 tonight. He had not allowed a home run to a left-handed batter. He's given up 2 of those tonight. Happened now Schwarber with his moonshot.
439 launch angle, 35 degrees. For Kyle Schwarber.
Wow.
3-1 on Baez. He's already been on base twice.
Got away with one there. Challenge fastball on 3-1. Baez a little bit behind it.
Change up in the dirt. Baez has walked twice in this game. So he has reached for the third time, and it's Russell.
And Walker, despite what's gone on here tonight, we've been talking about him throughout this evening. He's having a very nice year. And normally you think about one of the keys to successful pitching, throw strike one, right? You hear that over and over and over again. Coming into the start, he had only thrown strike one to 51% of the batters he had faced, the lowest first strike percentage among all qualifying pitchers in Major League Baseball. So he was getting it done, without throwing strike one.
Here comes Mike Matheny. That will be it for Waka. They whacked him around tonight for sure.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Is one of your keys. This call to the pen is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. All Cubs so far tonight. By Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2. The wait is finally over. Everyone's favorite family is back in action. See Incredibles 2 in theaters everywhere now. New pitcher for the Cardinals, Mike Myers, replacing the starter Waka.
Well, Myers was on the opening day roster. He has been option back and forth between St. Louis and AAA Memphis 6 times. I think it's not that far away. He's 2-0 with a 279 with Cardinals, so he's pitched well. 263 batting average against. Fastballs and sliders.
Cubs put a hurting on Michael Waka's ERA. For now, charged with 8 runs, 7 earned. And tied tied his career high, allowing 3 home runs. 1 strike to Addison Russell. Meanwhile, Javi Baez with 2 unintentional walks in the same game for the 3rd time in his career, and the first time in 4 seasons. Ground ball fair. Past a diving Carpenter. Baez to third. Brian Butterfield sends him home. He will score 9-1. It's a rout. First 4 batters this inning, all reaching and all scoring.
Yeah, after being shut out back-to-back days in Milwaukee, Cubs have the off day to reset, and they've come back with a vengeance here tonight. Russell having a nice night. He lined out first time up, took a walk, and now RBI doubles. This one rolls all the way into the left field corner. Ozuna had a long way to go, and Baez able to come all the way around to score.
Yeah, really like the work Addie's been doing at the plate here lately. And that'll close the book on Walker. 9 runs, 8 earned in 4+. And his ERA is over 3. Started at 247. He'll end the night at 324. Happ got the scoring started with a leadoff homer in the 3rd. Three balls, no strikes.
That was the first one Ian had hit since May 22nd against Cleveland. Well, I would say green light here if he wants it.
Didn't want it. It's on the outside corner.
You get to a point later in the ball game with a really big lead where you call off the dogs a little bit and you don't swing 3-0, but this is still just the 5th inning. Get into that whole debate about the unwritten rules of baseball. When it's okay to steal a base, when it's okay to swing 3-0, things of that nature.
A career high 9 runs allowed by Walker tonight. It felt like 8 to the Cubs on May 24th of 2016. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Stay ahead of the forecast with ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Meteorologists Cheryl Scott, Larry Mowry, Phil Schwartz, and Tracy Butler are the first to alert you to changing conditions and severe weather. ABC 7 Eyewitness News, your AccuWeather station. John Lester, the batter. Strike 1. The way Lester's been pitching lately, probably doesn't need all this support, but you don't turn your back on it.
No. It's not a strike, is it? According to our Xfinity strike zone, it might have been. Not sure I'm by it.
Russell at second. Lester at the plate and fouls.
Today is the anniversary of the Ernie Broglio Lou Brock trade. Cubs traded Brock to the Cardinals. Worked out pretty well for St. Louis. The year before that deal, Ernie was an 18-game winner, and a couple years prior to that, he was a 21-game winner. With the Cubs, he didn't do much at all, and I don't know the full story, but I think he ended up getting hurt. He was done by the age of 30.
Carpenter will scoop. Russell will stay at second.
Man, that's hard to watch. Carpenter throwing the ball across the diamond.
It looks very tentative.
Trying to find the least painful arm slot to deliver that ball, looks like. Yeah, just massaging the point a little bit. Yeah, a little impingement, maybe a little tender rotator.
A lot of good things have happened for the Cubs tonight. Maybe another really good thing. Fair ball. 10-1. As Russell trots home. Second hit, second RBI for Almora.
Quiet lower body here, and Albert, we talked about his ability to hit the ball the other way, or willingness to do so. Last time he was up there, this time he turns on one. Another extra base hit for the Cubs. That had really been lacking of late. They weren't doing much slugging at all.
Bryant, the ninth batter of the inning. Well, John Lester's continued to do fine work on the mound. Happ and Bryant have been struggling, both homering. Baez has walked twice, scored twice, on 3 times. Schwarber, a 3-run shot that just about hit the arch. Fouled away. Two strikes to Chris. And that's a base hit. Almora around third, and it's botched out there by Bader. He'll throw to second. Tag applied, run scores. Bryant will get an RBI on a single, and we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. It's the Cubs now 11. The Cardinals 1. How about this bomb? here in the 5th inning. And Jesse Rogers is with us with an update on Yu Darvish.
All right, guys, good news during this game, good news before the game as well. Darvish threw his second bullpen session as he rehabs from that triceps injury. Things went well, according to General Manager Jed Hoyer, who addressed reporters before the game. He said, quote, "There's a path for him to return before the All-Star break, but only if things go smooth. Can't have any setbacks. He'll throw again on Monday at Wrigley Field, then most likely face some batters and eventually go out on a rehab stint." So good news there as things progress for him. Also, Carl Edwards Jr. threw from the outfield today. Flat ground, nothing on the bullpen yet, but he's progressing as well. So good news for both those pitchers who Jed Hoyer said very important for this run in the second half for the Cubs. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate those updates. 1-1 on Luke Voigt. And on this really hot night, that gives Joe a little more latitude in terms of whether or not he wants to get John out earlier than normal with a 10-run lead.
Yeah, he went 7 in each of his last 2 starts. Well, he was efficient. He didn't throw that many pitches, 104 pitches last time out, 107 the time before. But, you know, in today's game, though, that's still a pretty decent workload. So wouldn't be a bad idea to shut him down a little bit earlier here tonight.
Fair ball. Nice play, Bryant. Long throw on a bounce. Picked by Rizzo.
Nice play here on both ends, and KB had made the error earlier, but this time beautiful play on the backhand side. Long throw across the diamond. Good footwork. You see Riz moving into foul territory and then making the pick on the one-hop throw. Splendid.
It was. Munoz 0 for 1. Takes a strike. That one missed wide.
I could see the conversation taking place after this half inning. Joe saying, you know what? You got a 10-run lead.
Yep.
You went 7 the last 2. Let's shut you down. That's to me where the fatigue comes from a pitcher. Not just one outing with a real high pitch count, but multiple, 3, 4 in a row.
Bryant another chance. Shorter throw this time. Plus Cubs starting this stretch of 17 in a row without an off day, so he will not have extra rest coming up. Let's check out the home run leaderboard brought to you by Toyota. Tested, trusted Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. And you want to have a low total on this particular board. Home runs allowed. And Cubs, Cardinals, Phillies at the top of that list. That's Dexter Fowler, and he takes a curve for a strike. He's batting in the pitcher spot. 171. Dexter in his second season with the Cardinals after inking a 5-year deal. That's Brett Cecil in the St. Louis pen. Swing and a miss, 2-2. He is 3 for 34 batting right-handed. That's an .088 average. Doesn't matter how much success or how long you do it at this level. When you've played 54 games and you're hitting 171, it's no fun.
No, you don't want to look at the stat sheet in the clubhouse. You don't want to look up at the scoreboard when you come up to hit and they got your numbers posted.
Still looking for his first triple of the year. That's always been a big part of his game. 81 in his career. He's only got 3 stolen bases. When you look at his slash line throughout his career, he's been incredibly consistent. That's something just off so far this year. Almora in center. And Lester with a shutdown 5th. Cubs 11, Cardinals 1. Side back, it's about time. Left-hander Brett Cecil.
Yeah, Cecil activated from the disabled list middle of May. He's made 13 appearances and they've not gone particularly well. Has a .630 earned run average. He's allowed runs in 4 of his last 5 appearances. Got some funk.
New catcher Francisco Pena. They'll get Molina off his feet the rest of the night. Rizzo bounces foul. DL time with a strained left shoulder for Cecil earlier this season. Made 1 appearance on the 29th of March and then missed almost a month and a half. Base hit center field. Rizzo on for the 4th time, 3rd via the hit.
Everybody getting healthy here tonight against Cardinal pitching. Their bullpen has a .439 ERA. That's 11th in the National League. Starters have really carried the load.
Contreras with a foul strike. That is high.
I see a lot of soft stuff from Cecil. Changeup, curveball.
I haven't seen any numbers about this, but it feels like more position players have pitched in blowouts than in years past, and this kind of has the vibe tonight of Mike Matheny maybe considering it if it gets even more out of hand.
Yeah, I guess it just would depend on if there's guys in his pen that need work.
Right.
But I think we've seen Colton Wong before, haven't we? We've seen him pitch.
Yeah, I was thinking Wong or Garcia, possibly. Wong has not pitched.
I must be confusing him with Skip Schumacher.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Schwarber with a towering home run, knocking in 3 in the 5th. Pretty much putting the game out of reach.
Well, they have all those StatCast measurements. I don't know if they measure hang time.
Yeah, I think it was like they do.
This has got to be in the top 10, I would think.
I think it was 6.1 seconds.
He outkicked the coverage.
Third longest in this ballpark by a visitor. And they're going to need to win tonight to keep pace with the Brewers, who are blowing out the Phillies. About winning the division, but the Cubs are leading the NL wild card. Game and a half ahead of the Nationals. Cardinals one back of the Nationals for the second spot. Boston and Seattle holding the 2 wild card spots over in the American League. Voit to second for 1. Relay will be made, but it's late. And now time for the Hooters hot play of the game, brought to you by your Chicagoland Hooters. A bunt by Lester as Baez able to score. He was back in the 4th inning.
Well, not just Joe. A lot of managers like that. The safety squeeze, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Bottom of the order, pitcher up, something like that. John Lester's such a good bunter. John has a lot of confidence when he asks him to get a bunt down.
Good hang time on this fly. Bader's got it. Cubs don't score in the 6th, but they lead by 10.
With MLB.TV, watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported devices. Save 50% now through Father's Day. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
I won't see you Sunday, so happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
And the same goes to all the dads out there. John Lester working in the 6th. Starts Matt Carpenter with a strike. Cubs looking to improve to 2-2 on this road trip. 2-4 on the season series. Cranked it deep right center, and she's gone. That's a homer for Carpenter. It's 11-2.
Both Cardinal runs, solo home runs. Ozuna back in the 4th, and now Carpenter leading off the 6th. Finally gets a little something done against John Lester. Number 9 on the year for Carpenter. And just the second one that Lester has allowed to a left-handed batter this year. They came in hitting just 197 against him with one long ball.
Bader 0 for 2.
Well, we talked last inning that Joe might get him out after 5. I didn't think it would really happen. I thought maybe they would at least have the conversation. But I would expect he would draw the line at 6 here tonight. He's up to 88 pitches. Due up 3rd in the inning. Lopsided game. He may even start the pen here if Bader reaches. I think you know, obviously the priority every night is to win the game, but over the course of the game you make certain other decisions. And the one thing they want John leaving this game feeling really good about his outing. He's been on this really nice roll. It would be disappointing for him personally if he ended up being charged with a 5 spot here tonight. The Cardinals get a little rally going.
Off the outside, 3-2. Always looking to protect the starter's ERA. Schwarber will get there. The save of the game is brought to you by Feldco. Save big at Feldco. Get 2 windows for the price of 1. Call 866-4FELDCO today. That was a catcher pickoff by Wilson Contreras to get Bader in the 3rd inning. So did you ever have a start where you were up like 15-0 and all of a sudden you gave up a grand slam and you're going, come on, Skip, killing me here?
No, but I've had starts where I had a big lead and barely got through 5 to qualify for the W. You know, I had like an 8-0 lead. Next thing you know, it's 8-5, and there's a guy on. You've worked 4 2/3, and like, oh no, I'm not gonna get this W here.
Missed it earlier. Got number 2 behind second base in honor of the late Red Schoendienst. Cardinals have a patch on their sleeve. As Almora will drift in. That's the 2nd out. Red was a fixture here at the ballpark for decades after he played and then managed.
Yeah, some 7 decades in the Cardinal organization. 95 years of age.
Managed that 67 club.
You mentioned earlier Red was the oldest living Hall of Famer when he passed away. Not too long ago, the man who held the title of being the oldest living ex-major leaguer passed away, Chuck Stevens, within the last month. And just about everybody who played professional baseball came across his name, because when you used to sign your Topps baseball card contract, like for $5 or something, or maybe it was part of the uniform player contract, you'd always see Chuck Stevens' name. A portion of the money, he was the guy who was in charge of running. It was an alumni charity group.
Really?
Yeah.
Ozuna singles with 2 outs.
The organization still exists, and it existed before Chuck, but he became the, I don't know what his title was, secretary or whatever. So you know, his name was there, and it was an organization that did outreach for ex-players who were down and out and needed money, and they would just you would call and, you know, I haven't worked in 20 years, I've got health issues, and they, you know, they'd write you a check. They would, you know, review your case, and they were funded by these small increments that I think as you worked your way through the minor leagues, the amount of money that was taken out of your check was you know, raised a little bit each year, and then as a big leaguer a little bit more, but it wasn't substantial. But a lot of players and guys, retired players who had made a lot of money, would write big checks to help fund that organization. And on their board, they had a lot of big names. Ted Williams was on the board for a time, and other Hall of Famers.
What's going on here? Joe Madden wanted to head out with P.J. Mainville, but Lester gave him the brush off.
Yeah, they must have seen something in John's body language that made them think something was hurting.
How old was Chuck Stevens when he passed?
High 90s, maybe?
Yeah, he was 99, and that was May 28. He was to turn 100 on July 10th. former St. Louis Brown. Pena 1-1. So Greg Garcia running for Ozuna. Broken bat, liner caught by Russell. Nice job to stay with it as Bryant tried to catch it in front of him, as we remember Hall of Famer Red Schoendienst. Inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. National telecast the next 2 nights. And then the Cubs home for a brief homestand against the Dodgers. Liner is down for a hit. Russell on yet again. As the Cubs bat in the 7th inning.
Shooting the ball the other way again, as he did first time up. This time Bader was able to make a play on a solid line drive in his direction. This time it drops in for a knock. So line out, walk, double, single for Russell.
Moves to left with Garcia now playing short. Strike to Ian Hatt. Chris Jimenez is in the on deck circle for Lester. It was excellent again tonight. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. His ERA went up just a bit to 2.28. Batting right-handed for the first time tonight. Yeah, you mentioned the unwritten rules earlier. This is about the point, right, where you kind of play things straight up, don't overdo it.
Yeah, more station to station base running. Again, there are no real unwritten rules because they're unwritten, and it's a feel thing. And some teams, some players take umbrage at the actions of others when others would not. You know, we mentioned that 5th inning situation where it was 3-0, and I said go ahead and swing it, even though it was 9-1 or whatever it was at the time. Yeah, you get into the 7th, 8th inning, probably don't swing on 3-0. But I always felt like if I was a manager, I would tell the other guy, okay, we promise not to try anymore if you promise not to try. You know, if you're going to keep trying to score runs, then we are too. But yeah, there's certain things you don't do.
Like Russell could steal second easily. He's not being held. That ball is hoisted into right center, and it will be caught by the center fielder fan. Take the power of AccuWeather on the go this weekend. Download the new AccuWeather app today to get Chicago's most accurate forecast from ABC7 Eyewitness News. Mike Matheny and Mike Maddox saw something they didn't like.
And Cecil trying to wave the trainer off as well.
Whatever he said worked. And this will be Jimenez for Lester.
Cecil, who had been on the disabled list earlier, so they're going to be on high alert with him. This is year 2 of a 4-year deal he signed. Free agent out of Toronto, had some nice years over there, made an all-star team.
Jonathan Loaisiga on his big league debut tonight. 5'11" right-hander for the Yankees. 5-0 over Tampa Bay. He went 5 innings. Beat Nathan Eovaldi. Minnesota over Cleveland, 6-3 the final. Kyle Gibson beat Corey Kluber. Kluber allowed 4 runs, gave up 2 homers tonight. Miguel Sano yesterday was optioned to the Florida State League. He was an all-star last year.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's just a
reset,
a roster move. I think he's probably going to go to the spring training facility and try to just work out some issues with his swing or whatever.
Miami blanked the Orioles 2-0 in Baltimore. Jose Urena with 8 shutout innings. All 4 to Jimenez. Pittsburgh edged the Reds 3-2. Cool over Harvey. Almora out in the shallow center, and it drops for a hit. Everybody advances 1, bases loaded. 3rd hit for Almora. And a look at the Dodge Out of Town scoreboard brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
Cubs now with 13 hits in the game. Morris spraying the ball around. Solid single to right. Double down the line at third, and now a little flare into shallow center.
Line shot to center. Pham makes the catch. 12-2 as Russell scores. It's a 4 RBI night for Chris Bryant.
Well, you know, Chris Bryant isn't the type of guy that's going to panic, but we had seen some signs of frustration from KB in recent days, so he's going to be able to put that behind him now, and he'll sleep well tonight. Outstanding performance.
Tommy La Stella batting for Rizzo. Yangervis Solarte homered from each side of the plate, and the Blue Jays beat the Nationals 6-5 in Toronto.
You know, Matheny and the trainer and Mike Maddox running out there, it may have been nothing more than Cecil's velocity. He's not a real hard thrower, but it looks to me those are fastballs 85, 87, and normally he's 90, 91, and sometimes that's enough to get the radar up in the dugout. Are you okay?
Padres beat the Braves 9-3. Freddie Galvis 5 for 5 with a 3-run homer. Bounced foul to first. Here's the pitch. Infield pop up. Carpenter grabs it. Cubs get one. Stretch time in St. Louis. It's the Cubs 12, the Cardinals 2. time. And it's right-hander Anthony Bass for the third time.
It's fitting. From Lakeside. Bass comes in. Third time. Anthony's been around the big league scene for a while. Came up to the Padres, also was a Ranger.
Well, Stella stays in place third. Chris Bryant will get some reps at first. Jimenez catching. Cubs lead at 12-2.
Anthony had a 2.28 ERA down at Iowa this year in 18 appearances. Nice play.
Nice grab, and that'll go 1-3.
On this date in 1938, Johnny Vandermeer pitched the second of his consecutive no-hitters over the Brooklyn Dodgers. It was the first night game ever at Ebbets Field. Lighting was terrible, and not to take anything away. I guess I am kind of taking a little something away because the lighting was terrible. But 38,000 and change on hand, including Babe Ruth. He was there as a spectator. Vandermeer struck out 7, walked 8. But secured that back-to-back no-hitters. Nobody's ever done it before, nor since. But every time somebody gets one, we're on Johnny Vandermeer watch. The next time out.
Matt Bowman up in the Cardinals pen. Voigt swings and misses, and it's 0-2. Sellout tonight, 46,188. I've seen some empty seats here in the late innings with the score 12-2.
Didn't Mark Burley go pretty deep in the second game after
he might have.
no-hitter?
I'm going to say yes, just for fun.
You're taking a page out of my book.
Voigt strikes out. 2 down. Here's Munoz. Started the game at short, now playing left.
It's also the anniversary of the only rainout ever at the Astrodome. 1976 Astros Pirates were to play. It rained so hard in Houston and the streets were flooding. The players were able to get to the ballpark, but the fans and the umpires could not. So they got rained in essentially, and they ended up having a big picnic on the field. Both teams.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and today used to be the trade deadline, right?
Oh, that's right.
Until about 1986. Munoz on with a 2-out single. Crazy to think. June 15th.
Yeah, you had to decide awfully early on what your plan was, buyer or seller back in the day. I think it was easier back then to make, after the non-waiver trade deadline passed. Teams were less aggressive at claiming people on waivers, and so trades would get done.
Colton Wong takes ball 1. There's a Saber article about the history of the trade deadline. First established in the NL in 1917. They had to clear waivers after August 20th. Similar rule came to be in the American League with a July 1st deadline. 1921 it became August 1st, and then 1922 it was changed to June 15th. Bounced foul to first.
And I don't know the reason. My guess is that they just didn't want teams to be able to change the makeup of their roster that late in the season. So you could, you know, kind of basically change your team significantly that late. Now it's changed back.
Jimenez able to keep it near him.
It's funny now in baseball, it seems to me like, you know, by the middle of May, we're starting to talk about who's going to be on the market and who the buyers are, who the sellers are.
Munoz will go with 2 outs and a full count. And Wong hits a hard ball that's just deflected into right by Bryant. That'll be a base hit. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, based on what you read and comments from the commissioner, I think this game is in for some major changes here the next few years. I think geographic realignment is a very realistic possibility. We've discussed that in the past.
It seems like they're floating a lot of balloons out there.
Yeah,
the commissioner and the
well, we're going to get to 32 teams. That's going to, I think, make life easier in terms of scheduling. The question then will be, will we stay at 162? Will we go to a reduced schedule? And that was one of the ideas thrown out there in the offseason about saving travel costs by realigning based on geography and shaving 4 home games off each team's schedule. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Carpenter. He homered in the 6th.
Yeah, I saw a story on potential expansion just the other day, and I can't remember who wrote it.
Was it Jason Stark?
It might have been Jason.
Yeah.
Whoever, whether it's Jason or whoever it was, they identified Portland as the most likely market to get a new club.
That's a base hit. Munoz scores. Little bobble by Almora. Here comes Wong. And it's 12-4 now. Probably an error out there that said Almora. It's Ian Happ, I think, had an issue with it. We'll see how they score it. It was Almora. The ball got under Albert's glove. E8 to allow the second run to score. That is Almora's first error of the season, and is the second of his career. How about that? We go to the 8th. It's the Cubs 12 and the Cardinals 4.
Matchups on the Live Well Network. Tonight's encore of Cubs Cardinals will be aired in its entirety beginning at 11 on ABC 7's digital channel 7.2 and the following cable channel positions.
This pitching change is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Matt Bowman just came off the DL today, dealing with some finger blisters on his pitching hand. That's 26 games, almost a month.
Sinkers from Bowman, probably his best pitch.
And Zobrist pinch hitting for Bass. One and one.
If you enjoyed this game, you can roll right into the rebroadcast. Just as this one ends, you can start the rebroadcast.
We might get there. Luke Farrell hoping to get into the game tonight and have a better feeling about pitching in St. Louis. That last trip here did not go well for him. As Zobrist fouls. Zobrist, a native of Eureka, Illinois. Two balls, two strikes.
You ever been to Eureka?
I don't believe I have. Are you going to drive past there tomorrow?
I might go looking for it.
Broken bat flare. That will hold up for Pham. That's the first out here in the 8th. And it brings up Schwarber, who's 1 for 4 with a 3-run homer.
He could have chopped that homer up into 3 knocks. It was
but would you if you
mammoth
could?
Blast. No, you'd want that. You want that big fly.
Right, it's a classic question. Would you want to throw 20 pitches in an inning as a starter and strike out the side, or throw 3 pitches and get 3 groundouts?
Well, yeah, in a vacuum, the strikeouts.
Three broken bat grounders.
You're up in the ante.
I'm trying to sweeten the pot
here.
here.
Yeah, I know you are.
How about 3-line drives right back to you, and you make great catches?
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I can get you to.
Can I get behind my back with one of them?
Sure.
Okay. I'd probably take that.
Plus 2 hits.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Where it gets really tricky is when you start offering 7 shutout innings, no decision and a loss, versus 6 innings, 7 runs and a win.
Yeah.
And you don't want to hook a guy up to a lie detector. It's all about the team.
Yeah.
Right. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs.
And I tell you, pitchers play those head games with themselves all the time.
Count on Chicago's most accurate radar, Live Doppler 7 Max. The most advanced technology, only on ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
I think the way pitchers think, and you know, the long view is depending on how their season is going. If they're short on wins, they'll take a win even if they give up 6 runs. If they got a high ERA, they want that low run game to chip away at that earned run average. They just want the overall resume to look good.
Yep. Yeah, the theory is it evens out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. One and one to Baez. And that's where the clubhouse dynamic gets really interesting. You know, you'll have an occasional position player who only exudes kind of that positive vibe when he has a good game. And, you know, you have an 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, but your team wins. You got to put on a good face.
Yeah, I've played with those guys in the past who, you know, the team gets beat 8-2, but they got 3 knocks, and they're just chirping away in the clubhouse, feeling great about things. And as you said, conversely, the team wins, but they had an off night, and they're just grumpy and.
One and 2 to Baez.
Oh my.
Man, oh man. That shattered, and fortunately it hit the netting and did not end up in the stands. Twelve to 4 Cubs, 8th inning. Another 1-2. This time he strikes out. And the Cubs go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. Leading big late. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Here's right-hander Luke Farrell pitching with an 8-run lead in the 8th inning.
2-2, 352 on for the 11th time. Worked a couple innings on Tuesday in Milwaukee. They hit a walk, 4 strikeouts in that outing.
And the pitch to Tommy Pham misses high and away.
Yeah, Luke likes to work up in the zone with a 4-seam fastball, 93-94. He's got both breakers, a slider and a curve, and a split finger pitch.
One ball, one strike. Make it 1-2. They gave up that home run to Wong in the 10th, and then to Fowler in the 14th. Back-to-back losses here in St. Louis, and that ball hit to deep left and gone for a home run ball. Fighting Luke Farrell in this ballpark. 12-5 in the 8th.
Yeah, you know, the hope was he'd come out here tonight and have a good one and try to put those outings behind him. But there's a little reminder delivered by Tommy Pham of his misfortune here in this ballpark. That's number 10 for Pham.
Garcia now playing shortstop, came on as a pinch runner in the 6th. Nikki tells us next time or first time we're in Eureka to go to Bob's Ice Cream.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds lovely.
Eureka.
So home runs tonight. Happ, his 9th. Bryant, his 9th. Schwarber, his 12th for the Cubs. Towering blast to right. And this one's going to stay in for Happ. Ozuna hit his 9th. Carpenter his 9th. Pham, number 10 for the Cardinals. Pena 0 for 1. A tall right-hander back on a 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. We've got a 5-game series coming up. Cardinals and Cubs out of the All-Star break at Wrigley Field. Starting with an exclusive Thursday night game and a makeup day-night doubleheader on the Saturday. One and two on Pena.
Luke Farrell pitched for 5 different teams last year. Pitched at the AAA level for the Royals, Reds, and Dodgers. Just 1 game with the Dodgers at AAA, and then 1 start for the big club in Kansas City. 9 appearances out of the Cincinnati bullpen. Cubs claimed him on waivers this offseason. Originally a 6th-round pick of the Royals, 2013.
Coming home on a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 outs. And it brings up Jed Jerko. Jed 0 for 3, hit into a double play in the 4th. Farrell turns and throws. Get me over breaking ball. 1-1. Giants are going to be without Evan Longoria for a bit. Broken left hand, hit by a pitch yesterday in Miami. In the air to right. Happ drifting, foul ground, and that'll do it. So we'll head to the 9th. In the series opener, it's the Cubs 12 and the Cardinals 5. bands, the best or nothing, and there have been a lot of them tonight.
Change up, fastball, breaking ball. Everything he threw got punished.
Schwarber. Chris Bryant's home run snapped a career-long drought. 119 plate appearances. Here's right-hander John Brebbia pitching in the 9th inning.
Myers, Cecil, Bowman, Brebbia after Waka.
John is 28. Born in Massachusetts, high school in Florida, and then Elon University.
Bowman came out of it unscathed, one scoreless inning with a couple of strikeouts. Everybody else got scathed.
Yep. So would a good review be an unscathing review? You never hear about that, do you? Typically, reviews are either good or they're scathing.
Scathing, yeah.
Fouled back by Russell. Righty to righty, the pitch a little bit in tight.
Brebbia was originally drafted by the Yankees, 30th round pick, June 2011. 929th player selected. Look at Addy.
Into the right field corner, his third hit. He's going to try for 2, and he's going to make it. 4th time on base for Russell.
Boy, his contact has been outstanding here tonight, and he's doing a lot of work in this direction. Let that ball get deep and just shoot it the other way.
Average up over 280 now on the year.
Not only do you have to beat the throw, you have to stay on the bag. That's the challenge.
Happ back to the left side, looks at a strike. Top foul to first.
It's the 4th double the Cubs have hit tonight to go along with the 3 home runs, 14 hits total.
That gets by everybody, and Russell moves up. So wild pitch charge to Brebbia, and the Cardinals move their infield in. Swing and a miss. Happ is out.
And that uppercut swing that allowed him to hit that ball out of the ballpark hurt him there with the elevated fastball.
Take the latest news, weather, and video with you wherever you go. Get the ABC 7 Chicago News app today. Infield still in against Jimenez. One ball, one strike. Couldn't get the breaking ball. (12-5), ninth inning. Cubs looking to grab the series opener after 2 straight losses. Down the left field line, long run Garcia. He'll slide and he can't get it.
Yeah, nice effort by Garcia. But Jimenez stays alive. Chance to drive in his first run in a Cub uniform. The Diamondbacks lead the Mets 3-2 out in the desert. Paul Goldschmidt with 2 more hits, including his 14th home run. His season has been remarkable. How bad it was for so long and how good it's been now.
It's been otherworldly here lately, hasn't it? Rebbe thought he had him.
It's Godley versus Lugo, the pitching matchup. Mets have lost 3 in a row, just 1 win in their last 10 tries. And they've been in a deep funk for a good while.
Club deep to left and foul.
Diamondbacks have been a fun team in that they got off to that great start and then they just hit rock bottom. And now they're trending up again. And obviously the Goldschmidt turnaround's been a big part of it.
We will see the Diamondbacks. Let's see. Just after the break. 4-game series at Wrigley starting July 23rd. And then in Arizona in September.
John Jay is now a Diamondback.
He is. Two count on Jimenez. Russell the runner at third, 1 away, 9th inning. That will get the run in as Pham will put it in his pocket. Russell scores a sac fly for Jimenez. And it's 13-5.
Cubs have been very sacrificial here tonight among all the other good things they've done. If you had the Cubs in the 13-run pool, you're a winner. Congratulations.
You also thought that the over-under on runs scored tonight would be pretty low, and certainly not 18.
Yeah. Many times does that prove to be the case?
1 strike on Almora. 3 hits, a sac fly, 2 runs, and he lines out. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. 3 outs to go. Cubs lead by 8 in St. Louis. Local Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, and it is John Lester looking to go 8-2 on the year.
6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, a couple of solo home runs. He walked a man, struck out 3. An RBI on a safety squeeze.
Farrell against Voit.
Those 8 wins will tie him with Waka, his opponent here tonight, and Aaron Nola. He would be tied for second in the league in wins behind Max Scherzer, who's got 10.
Thinking John Brebbia is going to hit tonight as they've run out of bench, and he's due 3rd here in the 9th. Two balls and a strike to Voit.
If I were to ask you,
yes,
who leads the Arizona Diamondbacks in runs batted in, you would say?
I don't know, but I'm going to just throw out Daniel Descalso.
Yes.
I knew he was having a good year.
He's got 37. One more than Peralta.
Yeah, he had some thing where he was among the league leaders in some wins created or something. Let's see. He's got an 885 OPS.
Yeah.
I think I just made up a new stat. Wins created.
Wins created plus.
I know what it was. Can't think of the actual stat, but it's a contextual stat. As that ball will land foul, and it's about what a guy's done to help his team win the most in terms of
win probability added.
Yeah, win probability added. It might be. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
All 4 to Voit. Yeah, Descalso, according to WPA, for an offensive player, win probability added. This is a Baseball Reference thing. It says the change in probability caused by this batter during the game. Andrew Benintendi and Mookie Betts are 1-2. Daniel Descalso ranks 3rd, higher than Mike Trout.
So that would be linked in some way to situational hitting them with men on base.
I'm not exactly sure.
Because I look in those splits, with runners on, he's hitting 343 with an 1156 OPS. Runners in scoring position, 317 with a 1036 OPS. So yeah, he's delivered with men on base. He's batting .500 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Daniel Descalso, your National League most valuable player, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? The guy who's a 243 lifetime hitter with a 693 OPS.
Right over near the Cardinals dugout without a play. So the Fangraphs glossary says WPA captures the change in win expectancy from one plate appearance to the next. Credits or debits the player based on how much their action increased their team's odds of winning. Most sabermetric stats are context neutral. But this one is about the game situation. Nice running grab by Almora for the first out.
So I guess then it would be an advantage to play on the team, for that statistic, to play on a team who plays in a lot of close games, so there'd be a lot of high leverage plate appearances. Oh, here you go. Here's Beretta for his second career at bat.
Left-handed hitter. And he's not going to face Luke Farrell, it appears. It is Randy Rosario when we come back.
Good skipping.
Will come in as Luke Farrell is nearing 30 pitches. Joe makes the change. I can't imagine he's matching up here against a guy with one career plate appearance.
Not going to let Beretta beat him.
It will be lefty-lefty.
No, it's about Farrell and keeping him in play a couple days down the road, and letting Rosario get out there, touch it up a little bit. He hasn't pitched since Monday when he went 2 scoreless in Milwaukee. These are the kind of pitching changes that they're kind of groaners where everybody says, "Oh, what are you changing the pitcher now for?" And it's for that reason. It has nothing to do with it. Winning or losing of this game. It's just keeping people properly rested and or sharp.
Beretta will not get cheated here in this plate appearance.
No, sir. Are both feet in the air when he swings? No, he's grounded. A mighty lash. He's going to give that one the full treatment.
Choke and poke. No. He makes contact. Russell will throw to first. Beretta running hard the
down
whole way.
The line, yeah. Love it.
Oh yeah, he's pumped. Put a ball in play. 2 outs, and it's Matt Carpenter.
Sniffing a hit there, thinking, I don't know how many chances I'm going to get. And some love from his mates.
13-5, 9th inning.
See, if they adopt the DH in the National League, we will not have moments like that. That was a moment.
It was. Swing and a miss. Well, never say never. I think at some point we're going to have the same rules apply throughout the big leagues.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think
it feels like it's going to be DH everywhere, but maybe the NL style will win out. There have been bigger upsets. Cub fans in the ballpark being heard with 2 outs, 9th inning.
Carpenter's the type of hitter who's not going to give away an at bat, even in a lopsided game.
One and 2. Make it 2 and 2.
What the top 3 in the Cubs order tonight? Almora, Bryant, Rizzo. 8 for 12, 4 runs scored, 6 batted in.
4 of those knocked in by Bryant. He hit his first home run in a month and a day. Full count to Carpenter. And he walked him. Yeah, it was a very grindy plate appearance for Carpenter.
Yeah. Unrelenting. Remember, you can catch this game in its entirety starting at 11 p.m.
Line to Russell. Cubs win. Cubs win 13-5 the final. Lester over Waka. And a nice way to start a big weekend here in St. Louis.
That was a nice little tonic after those 2 shutouts at the hands of the Brewers. Come out here tonight and unload against Michael Waka, who had been on an unbelievable roll, but the Cubs seem to always get to him. They certainly did tonight. 13 runs on 14 hits. Almora had 3, Rizzo had 3, Russell had 3. Everybody in the starting lineup except for Wilson Contreras and John Lester had a base hit tonight. They contributed as well.